And then from the biology part, what can you read? The first thing I would advise you to read is to understand the cell cycle, the basics of the cell cycle, the phases of the cell cycle, how, the cells, move from one phase 1, that's the G1 phase, G2, and then the mitosis, and then, the division phase. So just know the cell cycle, and then the checkpoints. Checkpoints are really important in cancer treatment and everything. So just to know, that is simple biology, and every biologist knows about that. So try to just keep your brain, not repeating but revisiting or reviewing that information about the cell cycle stages, what happens in each stage, what are cell cycle checkpoints, and what are the proteins, what are the proteins that participate in those checkpoints. How everything is regulated, how are the checkpoints regulated, and how is everything regulated in the cell cycle. And then after that, you can start about macromolecules. Of course, we have so many macromolecules. We have lipids, proteins, and the DNA. But I would advise you to focus on the DNA, because that is our main target, in cancer treatment. And the reason will become clear later on. There's only one DNA, right? We have mitochondrial DNA, but focus more on nuclear DNA. And you can also read about mitochondrial DNA, because it will help you. If you want to be able to think about things, critically, and be able to come up with various ideas, try to think about various things that are in the cell, but related to how the cell functions. But in this case, I would advise you to read about the DNA replication, DNA damage, what are the major proteins that are involved in the DNA replication, how do things start, how do things proceed, and how do things end. And then the DNA damage, what are types of the DNA damages, that occur? Double-strand breaks, single-strand breaks, base damages, all those things, And then you can think about various, ways in which our DNA can be repaired, right? Because for the cells to survive, the DNA must be repaired, right? Yeah, so you can think about all those ways: homologous recombination, non-homologous end joining, single-strand annealing, and then alternative end joining, and then TLS. You can think about all these ways, Don't delve so much into this madness, because I'm telling you, this is way too much. It's way too much, but just have the idea, Just have the idea. When you come here, it will be easier for you to digest them. Just to know that, these are ways in which the DNA can be repaired. Okay, all right. So where do all these occur? Okay, homologous recombination occurs in this phase of the cell cycle. Okay. Then why? Okay. If you can't find the answer, it's fine. You'll get the answer when you come here, because that's what the course is going to teach you, right? So why do you bother yourself so much? So it's not bothering yourself, but yeah, don't put yourself on pressure, because you're gonna be on pressure when you're here, right? So think about that. You must balance life. Yeah, and then what else can you read about? And then then you can think about radiation. How does radiation really kill the cells? And if you wanna know that, you must understand the types or the forms in which the cells die: apoptosis, necrosis, autophagy. So you just have to read about these, death mechanisms. Just have those basics. Okay, apoptosis. Okay, necrosis, autophagy. So just have this basic information. How radiation really kills cells. You don't have to delve into the mechanism. Of course, you'll understand the mechanism of how radiation causes direct damages in the DNA and indirect damages in the DNA. So when you come, you'll have that information. So you don't have to rush for that. Take your time. And then what else? What else can you do? What else can you read there? Yeah. if there is anything else, of course, you can always contact me via my Instagram. Just check for me. I use Anitumaya, aka Free Oxford Student. So you can always contact me and I tell you more, because I mean, I might have forgotten so many things, but I can always remember and I tell you there. And then what else? Yeah, and then after that, if you have free time before you join, you can try to, to practice some statistics. This is going to help you. If you're going to be in the academia and as a young scientist, you need statistics. When I was at my undergraduate, I did SPSS, I did the R software, I did, there's another software we used to use in another statistics class. So I did statistics, interpreting data and everything. So you don't have to, because I am sure some of you don't have, these resources, so it's fine just to go online, and you don't have to know these softwares, if you're just going to be on this course, like on this master's course, you don't have to know that, but it's a good thing for you to have the idea of those softwares that are used in statistics. For statistics, I just advise you to take time to understand what is the importance of statistics. You need statistics because the differences must be significant for you to convince people, right? Yeah, you need levels of significance if you want or not. If you're gonna be in this field, you need levels of significance, not only in the science, even in social sciences. All the data you're going to handle, it must be there must be some level of significance for you to convince the people. Otherwise, no one is going to believe you. That's how the game is. So, if you're going to be a scientist, better have that knowledge of statistics. And in your qualifying exam, of course, there will be about 1 or 2 questions. I don't know how it will be, but in our case, there are about 2 questions about statistics. And in that case, just have to understand the sample size, hypothesis. What is a null hypothesis? What is an alternative hypothesis, What is type 1 error, What is type 2 error? So you have to have these basics. I was lucky that I did statistics about 3 times with various softwares, and in the end, I loved the R software. It's so easy. If you fail to find that information, I mean, I'm not the best statistician, but I can try to explain to you from my understanding. I did these things. I'm not the best that word, but I can always try to help you, But still, try to first look for that information by yourself, and there will be always a person who will explain those things better. So, I think that's all. Yeah, that's all for now. Yeah, if there is any question about the course, anything, just reach out to me via Instagram, via LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I use Nakkazi. So just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you. And if there are any other questions, you want to hear from us, I can always look for other students to give you their views. So just ask as many questions as you can. For now, those are the things I think you should focus on. After you do that, then I'll be telling you what you should do next. Yeah, you don't have to do anything beyond that from my perspective, because it will be more you'll get confused. It will be so much information for you before you even step in this world. So just stop there, really. Yeah, in the Hillary term, you'll just be taught how to apply the knowledge you've studied. In the micro term, how to apply that knowledge, in the real hospital setting or, experimental setting. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope this is kind of helpful to you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Yeah, we are so busy, under pressure, but still, we can always have time and respond to you. Just try to be specific to the point And just to be clear, so that we don't spend so much time thinking about the questions. I'm glad all the people who have contacted me are very clear and very kind. They understand that we are busy, but still I get time to respond to them because I have been there, and I understand how frustrating it can be if you really need help and you don't get it. Yeah, so I love you guys and enjoy your life. I know some of you are experiencing a very difficult time, but it's everywhere, and some people are experiencing worse than you. So hang in there and be strong. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Everything will be okay. I believe that we shall go through this crazy pandemic, and we shall be happier and stronger than ever before. So, take so much water. Make sure your brain gets enough glucose because you need to function. You understand? This function. Your connector needs energy. Bye. Love ya.